So, I'll give you a mark down the line.
Okay, I'll pick you up. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council. There's good guys.
It was Monday, February 9th. We were working the day watch out of Vice Detail.
And there's bad guys. Give me that gun. Radio Spirit takes 10 hours of the best good guys and bad guys.
It's Radio Spirit, gamblers, and gangsters.
Test. All right, Jerry, I would have given you a 10-minute mark, but your boss and mine was talking to me. I figured that was probably more important than giving you a time on the clock. So, and if you have a problem with that, I'll tell him so. But I'm going to give you a 9-minute mark in about 30 seconds. So. All right, we're coming around to a 9-minute mark. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. 9 minutes. 9 minutes. up on 5 minutes. I apologize about that. We're coming up on 5 minutes. Four, 3, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes.
Boy, what a great place for basketball.
Yeah. I just can't. I can't put my head around that. All right.
Good evening, Tillamook High School basketball fans, and welcome to Tillamook High School and Bob Lamb Court for the very first time, as last night on this court at halftime of the alumni game, the court was named after the head coach for 25 years here, and now the varsity assistant for the last 8 years, Bob Lamb, the winningest coach in Tillamook basketball history. This gym and this floor now referred to as Bob Lamb Court. The Cheesemakers, the second-ranked team in the state, try to run the table here in their 20th game of the year as they take on the Banks Braves at home. The last time these two teams played, the Cheesemakers struggled to get a victory. It wasn't easy, wasn't always pretty, but Tillamook won it 62-56. Banks is a talented team. Tillamook's going to have to play better than they did in the first half of their last game if they want to win here tonight. It's also free night in the Tillamook gym. No admission charge. Everybody welcome to see the second-ranked team in the state take on the Banks Braves and try to go undefeated for their second year in a row in league play. We're going to have a talk to Tillamook head coach Greg Werner about tonight's game after this word from the Tillamook Bay Community College. By the Tillamook Bay Community College. Before tonight's game, we had a chance to talk to Tillamook head coach Greg Werner, and here's what Greg had to say.
Greg, you come in tonight's game, coming off that game up in Scappoose. Let's talk first of all about the first half. 8 points, 4 points in 2 quarters. It was ugly, and why?
I don't really know. I don't have a lot to say. The kids, we didn't have school, the structure. I had a couple of them late for the bus, and in that, with my experience in that, those players aren't mentally prepared, and that's what I feel we weren't mentally prepared. And so, you know, halftime, we were able to get focused, and then it was a tale of 2 halves.
So in the halftime locker room, down 17-8, and really getting handled through most of that first half. What was the atmosphere? Did the kids have their head down? Were they ready to come out and get after it, or did you see some fear in their eyes?
I didn't see any fear. You know, and reflecting back on it, I kind of felt numb. You know, I wasn't really mad. I was just frustrated. And so we got in there. We started talking about it. But prior to the coaches getting in there, the players had talked and figured it out. And that's usually the best policy. You know, the less the coach actually has to say, usually better off. So, but we talked about, you know, X's and O's weren't going to win the ball game. It was a character issue, and so, you know, we came out in the second half and completely different team. So hopefully we learned from it. We were able to come out of it with a win, which Scappoose is an easy place to play. They attacked us, which we thought they'd probably, you know, go back into a 2-3 with a foot in the key and make a shoot from the outside, and then they held the ball, which rattled us a little bit because we started pressing things on. And you know, once we discussed that with the kids, we told them that defense is going to win the ball game for us and create some transition. Just like tonight, I think it'll be the same thing because they're physical. I don't know if they're going to hold the ball on us, if they're going to trap us, if they're going to just shoot from outside, or what they're going to do. But we need to be right in the head. That's the message that we said in the locker room before we got out there.
As you look at the game tonight, you struggled with the Banks out there. Beat them by only 6. You were down late in the ball game. Athletically, their top 4 or 5 are as good as anybody you're going to see.
They are. They're really athletic. They're short numbers, and we didn't press them enough. And it didn't really matter watching the tape. What we did, we just weren't effective. And somehow we pulled out the win. I still don't know how that happened, but it did. So that was where our focus is tonight. We need to come out in the first 3 minutes of the game. That's where we need to send the message, and hopefully we do so. But we'll see. I've said that before, and like at Scappoose, we said we got to jump on these guys, and we didn't do that until the third quarter. So we got to focus and get ready for the playoffs.
Did the kids realize that in the Scappoose game, really the turning point at halftime was the defensive pressure and the defensive change that they made, and the fact that that's going to win you games consistently?
I think so. It depends on the personnel. I may put personnel in, and we may have better outside shooting, or have personnel that's better pressure defense. And that's a tough thing to sort out as a player because you feel like you can benefit on the offensive end, but you may not be as strong on the defensive or vice versa. And as a coach, I just have to see how the game's going and how it's materializing and what the other team's doing, and that's my job. So, but they do understand that defense is going to win a championship for them, and that we have to be smart with the ball and get it to the go-to guys.
Also, as you look back, a couple key runs this year, and runs like I really haven't seen before ever. 25-0 run last week, 31-0 run a couple games ago. That's unique. This group has a sense of when they're on top and really burying somebody.
Yeah, we want to be able to finish games. Like I said, it's been starting games that have been our problem. But you have to go for the jugular, and you have to be able to finish. And that's what we want to try and get done tonight.
Well, Greg, 1 ball game away from running the table for the second year in a row in league. I don't know if you ever expected to be in your second year here at Tillamook and still not having lost a league game. That's got to feel good.
It does. It feels really good. When I first came, I thought, well, this is going to be a project because we didn't have anybody really returning besides Bartline, and we had a lot of pressure on Bartline last year. And I had a lot of respect for him going through that and leading the way. And then this year, it's just been a collective group effort. And so you see that with the points, you see that with the defense. So they're coming together, and hopefully we can do some good things.
Another great night here in the first game on Bob Lamb Court. Be a good one to win.
We're excited for it. Thank you.
And again, we'd like to thank Greg Werner for his comments for tonight's game on warm-up time. We'll be back with more warm-up time after this word from the Tillamook Bay Community College.
The next Mooks basketball game will be at Hill High next Friday, so we'll meet for tomorrow in Stansburg.
Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball and warm-up time, brought to you by the Tillamook Bay Community College. Tillamook Cheesemakers and the Banks Braves here from Tillamook High School on free night. Free admission for everybody. Nobody out the door. Just come on out. There's still some seats to be had, but you're going to be sitting next to somebody if you come. What a great crowd on hand. Just another fantastic atmosphere for 4A basketball here in the Tillamook gym, as it's also senior night, and down on the floor they are introducing seniors. They started with the band earlier, and it was so seldom do we talk about the band members, but I got to tell you, John Coughlin does such an exceptional job with them. The best we hear all year long. They're here every home ball game, and they add to the atmosphere like nothing else. And the band, they were honored today, or tonight, the seniors, before the game. On the floor now, the 2 Stag girls who are seniors as well, Lane Gura and Lauren Seeger, are both introduced out there with their parents. Also the rally, Jennifer Ochoa is a senior rally member, and her mom Terry's out there. And now they get to the senior boys, as First, it is Johnny Begin, and I'll turn Dave up here on warm-up time as well. You look at what this team is, and they're 20-0, and Johnny Begin was a big loss in this, and he's been with the team the whole year long, but he's not at all the factor that he would have been without that injury. How good could this team have been?
Well, you look at it two different ways. On the floor, they miss him physically, but Coach Warner always talks about mentally, what does it bring?
Yeah.
I think Johnny Begin, probably in the locker room and on the bench, keeps the rest of the team more in that game there than he maybe would have on the floor. So, although a great leader on the floor, he's kind of the catalyst. When you look down at that bench, he keeps everybody in the game. So he has not given up because he has a knee injury.
No, and a lot of people would have. They would have just given up at that point and gone into surgery instead of fighting back. And he's been out there, and so we spent a little extra time on him. Other seniors, Blaine Keenert is a senior. Boy, he's had a couple great years, including this year. Dan Ginger down there with his mom and dad, Tim and Beth. Dan's had a good year coming off the bench for the Cheesemakers. Weston Walker, what a great role player he's been. A guy like him could have easily said, I'm not going to get a lot of playing time, and so I'm just not going to go out. But he's been there, worked every day, and he makes everybody better on the floor. Jason Wetzel introduced. He's been a 2-year starter for the Cheesemakers. His mom and dad, Robert and Carrie, are down there. Taylor Bloom, he's had a good year his senior year. His mom, Diana, coming out to meet him. And finally, Luke Oldenkamp. I'd say the biggest surprise of the year. Luke was a factor last year, but not anything like he has been this year. A huge, huge piece to the puzzle this year. Luke Oldenkamp, as he's introduced down there as well. And again, Tillamook head coach Greg Warner in his second year here at Tillamook High School. Boy, you got to be proud of the job he's done too. Has not lost, knock on wood, has not lost a Kawapa League game since coming. And in fact, I don't remember what their record was last year, but you add 19 more wins to that with no losses, it's gotten a whole lot better.
Well, I tell you what, you keep winning games like that, you can become an all-time winningest coach pretty quickly.
Well, you're going to have to wait a while because Bob's got, what, 368 wins. And so if you're only playing 20 a year, you got to be here a heck of a long time. As Bob Lamb.
And then to win 20 a year is almost unheard of year after year, although the program that is in place here in Tillamook is one that possibly could sustain that.
And really, when Bob was given that honor last night, the word that he came out with was, he thanked all the people that are involved, but the thing he came out with was Tillamook is the best place in the entire state of Oregon to coach basketball.
Well,
and I can't disagree with that.
And I don't know about coaching, but it's the best place to be a basketball fan, number one, because you look through this gym, it is packed once again. And thanks to Weston Walker, again, another senior leader that came up with a great idea with the economics and everything. You know what? That's the caliber of kids that we have out on the floor.
No doubt about it. And we have a student body who on the far side in the last 10 days raised $111,000 for charity.
That's craziness. That is unheard of. It can't be done.
Just does not get any better than that. Starting lineup for Banks, they're going to start Neil Hammond. He's a 6'3 senior. Jared Rue, a 6'3 senior. Brass Bowden, a 6-foot sophomore. Devin Partain, a 6'2 sophomore. And Thomas Moore, who is a 6'3 senior. So a pair of sophomores and 3 seniors. Cheesemakers, same starting lineup. Point guard Dan Seaholm, off guard Jason Wetzel. Johnny Begin will be coming off the bench. Blaine Keenert down low. He's 6'4 and a senior. Luke Oldenkamp, 6'4 and a senior. And Matt Bryant at 6'8 and a junior. 4 seniors and a junior in the starting lineup. Make that 3 seniors and 2 juniors in the starting lineup for Coach Greg Warner and his Tillamook Cheesemakers. This has been a warm-up time brought to you by the Tillamook Bay Community College. We'll be back with the start of tonight's game. I'm going to take that back. We're going to keep it right here for the national anthem. Diana and Dustin Bloom, mother and son. Donna and Dustin Bloom, mother and son. You don't hear that very often, but it goes right in line with what we said all along. You don't get a better show anywhere than you get here in the Tillamook gym.
This is the place to be in Tillamook on basketball night, and every time I just get done and I say, wow. That is incredible. You know, that's what I sound like when I sleep. I don't know what else to say, but boy, we are blessed and fortunate. If you don't think we are, go to a few other places around the state.
That is so true, and we get the opportunity to do that, and there's no place better than home. In the middle, we'll jump it up. Matt Bryant along with Thomas Moore. Ball in the air, tip controlled by the Cheesemakers. Fed right side to Wetzel. Wetzel on the baseline to Seaholm. Turnaround fade from 8. In and out, no good. Backside board, Tillamook had 2 guys there, fought it, and Banks came away with it. Down with the ball is Hammond. They'll push the other way out on top to Bowden. Bowden looks, goes through, a little bit open on the baseline, feeds back inside, tipped away, loose, picked up. Cheesemakers with a steal. Near side running the floor, left side Wetzel. Down and hands back to Oldenkamp, who stepped out of bounds. I don't think so.
Oldenkamp was just running the baseline, and I don't know.
Yeah, Wetzel handed it off to him. Cheesemakers turn the ball over. They're going to press full court. Across the timeline, near side comes Criswell. Criswell back out on top, and Banks will set it up. Banks very, very athletic. Rue had 12 points in the first game. Bowden 15, Partain 12, Thomas Moore 16. Shot on top, missed. Rebound comes down to Tillamook. Outlet again. Seaholm right side, running the floor. Wetzel running jumper for 3. No good. Rebound backside. Banks comes down with it. Tillamook slow start here in the first 3 trips down the floor.
Well, it's a slow start, but just a little quick on the trigger that time for Wetzel. Didn't get his feet set.
Criswell, right wing, out on top, going to shoot the 3. It's no good. Rebound, offensive board. Whistle foul going to be on Matt Bryant. As down with the ball was Jared Rue. As it was a short rebound, came right off the edge and down straight. Rue got it and he tried to flip it back up, but Matt Bryant picked up the foul.
Well, the question was, how is Banks going to play the game? Up and down the floor.
Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what, they are not slowing the ball down right now and just taking it right to Tillamook. So slow start scoring-wise, but both teams up and down the floor very quickly. Just one turnover apiece here early. First whistle of the ball game.
And the official administered the foul to 12 white. Well, there isn't a 12 white. It's actually 12 blue that's shooting. And so it goes back out there and says, oh, yeah, that's 55. I don't know how you can miss him. He's 6'8". He's got a wingspan that goes all the way across the key. Matt Bryant, foul number 1. First free throw's good by Jared Rue. He dribbles and eyes for the second one. Free throw is good as well. Banks takes the early lead, 2-0. Cheesemakers down the floor quickly. Seaholm to the top of the key. Now we'll back it on out. Banks going to sit back in the zone. A 2-3 zone. A little bit slow getting to it, though. Going to be a long skip pass to Wetzel. Looks down low. Waits. Now he's going to move out on top to Seaholm again. To the elbow. Left side. Out of the corner. Wetzel for 3. In and out, no good. Rebound kept alive. Backside by Oldenkamp. Saved back into Keenert. He drives. He's fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Well, Tillamook did a great job of getting that rebound and getting a second chance opportunity. Again, Wetzel a little quick on the trigger again. It looked like he just lost the handle of the basketball right before he shot it. So maybe a little nerves happening right there with this team. You can't get off to the kind of slow start that they had in the last ball game. You'll have a hard time digging your way out of that here.
Yeah, that was brutal. There's no doubt about that. 8 points in the first half in Scappoose, partly caused by the Scappoose defensive pressure, partly caused by the Cheesemakers just not being ready. Both free throws by Keenert are good, and we're tied at 2. Cheesemakers stay in a full court press, 2-2-1 full court press. Almost traveled, near side across the timeline is Rue. Rue looks, now goes cross court, far side to Hammond. Hammond looks inside, good defensive pressure, now going down the lane, all the way to the hole, lays it up and in. Nice drive by Trask Bowden, the sophomore, to get 2. Bowden didn't want to drive, but they left him open. Now the other end, Oldenkamp to the hole, scores, and he is fouled.
And we had kind of talked a little bit maybe off air about Luke Oldenkamp and what an addition he is and how well he's played. What only criticism you ever look at is how can you finish a little stronger, and boy, that time he took it and just finished that hard right at the hoop.
And he did have contact. He'll go to the line where he was not real happy the other night. 1 out of 9. He hits the first one.
Well, he's got 3 points in the game, and you're right. I'm sure he could not have been very happy with that.
Cheesemakers take the lead for the first time at 5-4. Full court pressure still. Little loop down the lane, drive, miss a shot. Bryant with a rebound. Outlet, Cheesemakers run. Sideline break, right side with Wetzel. Wetzel into the corner on top to Seaholm. Open for 3. In and out, no good. Rattled in, off the glass, hit the rim again, but fell away.
Yeah, we're seeing Seaholm come out and just try a little bit more offense than we've seen in the past.
And he didn't have a guy within 10 feet of him. It's a good idea. Down the lane again, to the hole, lays it up and in. As Trask Bowden gets another bucket at 6-5, Banks.
Well, Bowden now with 4 points.
Pass inside, turned over, tried to thread it through to Matt Bryant. That was too tight. Ball turned over, Banks down with the ball. Inside, Trask traveled, no call, then steps through and scores.
Well, the problem with that is Bowden now with 6 points in the game. Tillamook got up in the air, and that's Matt Bryant. Should just stand there with your hands up. You're 6'8", with your hands up in the air, and gave Bowden just a chance to put the ball on the floor and go right around him.
Pass to the inside went to Matt Bryant. He's fouled before the shot. Foul will be called on Thomas Moore. Banks is not deep.
Number 2 on Moore already.
And again, they only have about 6 players you see at any point. Baseline, Seaholm on the inbound, goes to Matt Bryant down low, shuffled his feet, but laid it up and in.
He got away with that one. Great entry pass that time from Seaholm.
Tillamook trails 8-7. Rodriguez comes in the game. Wetzel sits down. Out on top with the ball, bounce pass to the right wing, give and go. Jared Rue, the Cheesemakers are in a man-to-man. They're going to swing to the far side. Waiting on the drive, kicks back, ball loose, tipped it out, loose again. Bowden comes up with it. He feeds to the baseline, open from 18. Hammond, no good. Rebound, it bounced right off the rim and into the hands of number 51, who we don't have on the roster. First bucket, bounce pass inside. Bryant, too low, dribbles out, saved. Cheesemakers will maintain control. Good hustle there. Seaholm. Tillamook trails 10-7. Pass inside. Keener, free throw line jumper. Handed his face, no good. Got his own rebound, took it in, missed it again. Rebound comes down. Matt Bryant digs it out. He's fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Great second and third efforts this time, this trip down by the Cheesemakers. They are not giving anything easy away here. Boy, they're going after those offensive boards.
Yeah, crash the boards hard there. And again, Banks being as thin as they are on the bench, you really want to press the action on the inside if you can. You also want to play defense on the other end. Tillamook hasn't done that very well lately.
Well, they switched up man-to-man. We'll see what that does for them. The last trip down, they didn't give up the easy, they did give up the easy bucket, but not the easy layup that when they were in the zone that created a lane.
Matt Bryant's both free throws look perfect.
Boy, that's a nice free throw shooting there, Matt, with 4 points.
Good arch on the ball, nothing but net on both of them. 10-9, Tillamook trails by 1. 3:51 left to play in the first period. Cross-court pass thrown away.
Second turnover for Banks. Boy, Banks not real talented, but I'll tell you what, up and down the floor, they'll get after you.
Remember, Banks was the second place team in the state in football. Left side, Rodriguez for 3, no good. Oldenkamp backside rebound, he missed it, tipped off him out of bounds.
Boy, Oldenkamp once again, just a rebound machine.
And he got some pressure on the backside, some contact. Didn't get the call. With the ball in backcourt, we're going to call 51, Kloppenstein. That'd be what the last guy on the roster is. Right wing jumper from 15. It is off the iron, off the glass and in. As it went down by Rue, it's 12-9 Banks. Keener with the ball on top. Slow pass out on top. Almost turned over. Picked up Keener. Free throw line jumper. Good. Nice entry from Oldenkamp. Keener to quick turn. Tillamook back to within 1. Down 12-11. Across the timeline on the far side is Bowden. Bowden going to go down the lane. Feeds to the baseline. In a little bit too deep. Wraps it back out. 3-point set shot. Hammond. It goes, but they're going to say no. 3 seconds in the key. First.
Boy, not very happy. Hammond just furious after putting that shot down. And it took him a long time to get set up for that shot.
It did. Maybe the full 3 that they just called in the key, and it could have been on 3 different guys. Baseline pass, Oldenkamp. Colden down the lane. Oh, he's hit on the shot. No good, but it goes out of bounds.
Well, he is taking it hard. And I tell you what, if there's somebody that's going to take a shot and get fouled, it's going to be Luke Oldenkamp.
Yeah. Oldenkamp underneath. Alley-oop inside. Keener. Good. Nice, pretty alley-oop. The Cheesemakers take the lead again at 13-12.
Perfect pass from Luke Oldenkamp.
Down the lane, tough fade. Bowden, good. Oh, that was Criswell. Sorry. Tough shot by Criswell. Puts it down. Banks playing very well offensively here in the first half. Keener loses the ball out by midcourt, but picks it up again. Hands to the right side to Rodriguez. He'll lob it inside, and it's batted back out by Banks, who saves it back in, but it goes to Keener. Keener down the lane. He's fouled from behind by Hammond. And to the line will go Keener.
Well, although the score isn't such yet, I tell you what, I like what I see on the offensive end from the Tillamook Cheesemakers. They are taking it right to Banks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Banks with their 5th foul. Tillamook with 1. That shows you who's taking the ball to the hole. Keener, good on the free throw. 14 all tie.
Keener with 7 points already in the ball game. 3 of them from the free throw line. That tells you he's doing what he should be doing, and that's taking the ball right at the hoop.
Second one is good as well. Tillamook takes the lead back at 15-14. 2:09 left to play in the first half, or first period, sorry. Kloppenstein with the ball. Hands back on top, gives it up. Now down the lane. Going to scoop to the hole. Checked by Matt Bryant. Goes up and he checks him again. 2 block shots on the same player. That trip down. Lead pass. Oldenkamp crossover. Has it tipped out of bounds. It'll be Cheesemaker ball.
And I'll tell you what was so impressive about that with Bryant is he went straight up in the air and blocked the shot. He did not lean into the player at all. And boy, he just caught those high in the air.
Oh, 2 swats in a row. Baseline. Rodriguez 18. In and out and back in again.
Oh boy, that one did everything but go down, and finally did.
Got the Tillamook bounce on Bob Lamb court there. Reaching foul going to be on Seaholm at the other end.
They're going to call that on Rodriguez, I believe.
See when they put it up with 1:36 left to play in period number 1. 17-14, largest lead of the ball game. It is on Josh Rodriguez. Coming into the game, bringing the ball in will be Bowden. Coming in shortly will be Wetzel. Far side, Criswell. Criswell, baseline, tips it out on top. Going to drive through, throws up a shot, partially deflected by Bryant again. Quick outlet, Rodriguez, caught, saved back to Seaholm. Seaholm now going to drive, hands right to Rodriguez. Quick action, jumper, tough shot. He's bailed out with a foul. He went up in the air, he adjusted his shot, and he got bailed out. That ball would have been lucky to get to the backboard, and Banks wants timeout. 17-14, Tillamook, 1:17 left in the first period. We'll be back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball. Tillamook leads 17-14. Josh Rodriguez goes to the line to shoot 2 as the Cheesemakers with a 3-point lead, but it's been a seesaw battle the entire way so far in the first period. Free throw good by Rodriguez.
Well, we talked about this team needing 4 good quarters, as you come down the stretch. Boy, so you start off, it's a good quarter.
Missed shot on the free throw. Matt Bryant got the follow, but he was stuck underneath. Got backboard checked, and Banks down with the ball. Tillamook leads 18-14. On top, bounce pass inside. Rue running, jumper, whistle, foul. That was Hammond, not Rue, and it's going to be on Blaine Keener.
First foul on Blaine Keener, and he wouldn't have been called for that, but just the big swiping hand coming across.
And so Hammond will go to the line. Hammond didn't score in the first game between these two teams, and he's a lanky, athletic kid, left-hander. Free throw is good. Into the ball game will come Devin Partain. He's got that right calf all bandaged up. We'll see how he moves on that. As Keener will come out, Oldenkamp back in. So it's Oldenkamp, Matt Bryant, Wetzel, Bloom, and Rodriguez. Free throw by Hammond is good. He gets them both. 18-16, Tillamook with the lead. Right corner, Bloom for three. No good. Long rebound, tipped out. Banks comes up with it. Feeds left side. It's 3-on-2. Nice spin move down the lane. Checked once, twice. Out of bounds. Cheesemakers, it'll be Banks ball.
And I tell you what, that's Bloom's best defensive stand of the season right there. He stood straight up and was going to make the player go through him, but then he just started backpedaling away from it. No contact came and just flipped the ball away.
In front of him the whole time. Nicely done. Banks with the ball. Hammond on top. Feeds right side. Pass to the baseline. Turns around. Throws it across the key and all the way out of bounds.
5th turnover of the ball game for Banks. Good defense pressure that time by the Tillamook Cheesemakers.
Next game here on Bob Lamb Court at Tillamook High School will be 2 weeks from tomorrow, and it'll be a do-or-die game to see if you go to the state tournament in Corvallis. It will be a state playoff game. Baseline pass, nice steal by Banks. Outlet to Hammond. Tillamook turns the ball over. With the ball, Partain. Partain gives it up and goes to the left wing and gets it back again. Little give and go down the lane. Lucky not to get a foul. The ball comes down to Oldenkamp. Oh, head coach Norm Ballou is livid, and should be. With the ball on top, waiting, looking. Rodriguez, left side to Bloom. Bloom doesn't look to shoot, goes inside to Oldenkamp. Oh, he's hacked on the shot. There's your makeup call, and that's the end of the first period of play. It's 18-16. Cheesemakers by 2 after 1 period of play. We'll be back in 1 minute. Cheesemaker basketball. Tillamook leads 18-16. Randy Schill along with Dave Shabandi, your broadcast crew over FM 94.3 KTIL in Tillamook. A huge crowd on hand for the final regular season league game the Cheesemakers have this year. They're 19-0, trying to run the table and make it a perfect 20 here against the Braves. It's not going to be easy. Beat them by only 6 over there. They're up by 2 as we head into the second period of play.
Banks playing a very good ball game, shooting 40% from the field in that first half, 6 of 15 from the field. The Tillamook Cheesemakers 31%, 5 of 16 in the first quarter.
Pass inside. Koppenstein kicks it to the left wing. Pump fake, going to drive baseline. Shot on the way from 17, no good. Banks with their own rebound. Kicked out on top. Hammond comes down with it. Hammond, left side, carry the ball. Cheesemakers get it back on the turnover.
In that first quarter, Banks with 5 turnovers, Tillamook Cheesemakers with 4. Banks just picked up their 6th turnover. Taking care of the basketball much better are the Tillamook Cheesemakers in the other night.
Wetzel, running jumper, no good. Matt Bryant, offside rebound, lays it up and in. Nice job by Matt going to the backside board, scooping that up and laying it in. Good pressure in the backcourt, causes the ball to break loose. Banks picks it up again. That give and go, left side, down the lane, double clutch, and Matt Bryant went up, came down, and then ran right over the top of Trask Bowden.
Well, he just couldn't stop the momentum.
No, that was the 18-wheeler on the run, and somebody little just pulled right out in front of him, and it wasn't pretty.
You can't stop like that when you're a little car. When you're big, you just, man.
Just kept on rolling, and so Trask Bowden goes to the line. Free throw's good by Bowden. He's been tough so far in the ball game. Had 15 in the first game. He's only a sophomore.
7 points in the ball game now.
Matt Bryant sits down. Blaine Keenert comes in. Bryant with his second personal foul. 7:24 left to play first half. Bowden's second free throw's good as well. It's 20-18 Cheesemakers. Down the floor, right at the baseline. Bloom goes inside to Oldenkamp. Oldenkamp out on top to Rodriguez. Steps back. He'll shoot the 3. It's going to be short. Ball tipped out of the corner. It'll be Cheesemakers' ball.
Now, another team rebound for the Tillamook Cheesemakers. And they just blocked everybody from Banks out. They didn't have a chance to get to that ball.
Cheesemakers bring it in to Keenert in the corner. They'll run the inbound play and go to Oldenkamp straight away. Nice step through, lays it up and in. Little up fake, and then a drop step, and he was sitting on the doorstep and opened it up, laid it in.
Boy, he made that look easy. He's got 5 in the game.
Tillamook in a 2-3 zone this trip down the floor. Ball on the right baseline to Koppenstein. Koppenstein goes cross court. Hammond, long set shot for 3. It's no good. Rebound comes down Keener. Tillamook runs the floor. Right side, Rodriguez. Rodriguez cut off. Free throw line. Hands to Keener. Keener loses it. dive. Hammond going to get the foul.
Oh, boy, that's a cheap foul there. I disagree with that.
So does Hammond.
Well, the ball, it's a loose ball at that point. Nobody has it, and there's a little collision between Keenert and Hammond picks up the foul.
And Hammond will get foul number 2 as well. And so Banks will send into the ball game Jim Criswell. Hammond sits down, and Hammond not very happy about it. Tell you what, this Banks team, if Gabe Linehan would have come out, they could have been right there challengers, I'll tell you, because athletically they've got it. Free throw missed, but Oldenkamp with the ball. He feeds it back out by midcourt. Tillamook controls. Into the baseline right. Wetzel now going to drive. Hands off. Great pass, Keenert. He missed the lay-in. Rebound comes down to Kloppenstein. Outlet going to push the right side. Baseball pass to the other end. Saves it back. Tillamook with a steal. Bloom now going to run the ball right to left. Into the corner. Wetzel, pump fake, baseline, double clutch, shoots from 10. Good!
Wetzel finally gets on the board. That shot there, he had total control of it.
Rodriguez with a steal at midcourt. Cross court. Keenert layup. 2! Beautiful steal by Rodriguez, and the assist to lay it in. And the Cheesemakers, Keenert finishes it. The Cheesemakers lead by 8, 26-18, and Banks is going to ask for timeout on the floor.
Boy, and they need it too. The Tillamook Cheesemakers all of a sudden just put a run on, and Blaine Keenert in double digits with 10 points. He's a man possessed tonight.
Wow.
Boy, the big guys for Tillamook playing very hard. Oldenkamp and Keenert and Bryant, all three of them having a very solid basketball game.
Really coming out much more focused than we saw in Scappoose to open up that ball game where they just couldn't do anything. Now Banks going to counter and bring back Jared Rue. Jared Rue has 2 fouls, but no, that wasn't Rue that had 2, was it?
It's Hammond with 2 and Moore with 2.
Okay, Thomas Moore with 2. So they're going to leave Moore there, bring Rue back in. Don't forget district semifinal wrestling action Saturday morning at 11 from Astoria. We'll be there for you on the radio. Should be a lot of fun. Semifinals as Cheesemakers looking for another district championship, and could they possibly repeat as state champions? Banks with the ball in backcourt. Cheesemakers going to extend. Far side, Bloom and Rodriguez, the guards now for the Cheesemakers. Get it across the timeline to Criswell. Criswell in the right wing, cross-court pass, chancy pass, got by with it. Inside, stops, spins, shot, checked by Oldenkamp, and he comes down with the ball. Banks thought they got fouled. Wetzel, wide open 3. Good! Wetzel, back-to-back buckets, and the Cheesemakers were up 2. They've scored 11 in a row. The runs we've seen all year long, the Cheesemakers, it's been amazing. Down the lane, shot on the way, on the run, it's no good. Rebound, fought for and chased all the way out of the corner by the Cheesemakers. They come up with it. Ahead to Oldenkamp, he gives it back to Bloom. Bloom going to go to the baseline, dishes inside to Keenert, who takes it up and lays it in.
Boy, this
Bloom
team makes it look so easy when things are going right. And boy, on the defensive end is where things start.
And another steal. Keenert, one-on-one break, scoop to the hole. He missed it out of bounds. It'll be Banks' ball.
He got a little greedy that time. That was a tough shot as he was crossing the lane. Little finger roll. That's a Clyde Drexler move there.
I thought at first he was just going to elevate and take it right out the hole, but he kind of slid sideways and went by pretty quick. Dan Ginger comes into the ball game along with Seaholm, so a pair of Dans back in for the Cheesemakers. 31-18, Cheesemakers with the lead on a 13-0 run. Backcourt with the ball, Thomas Moore back in the ball game. Norm Ballou feeling this game slip through his fingers very quickly here in quarter number 2, a quarter that Banks has not scored in yet. With the ball, right wing, almost lost it, got it back, goes to the corner to Criswell. Criswell into the corner, right side on the other side to Bowden. Bowden pass out on top tip, but it goes right back to Banks, and then they throw it away.
Turnover number 10 for Banks. Tillamook's defense is just eating them alive.
Oh, they're rattled.
Great ball movement by Banks, but Tillamook is just right there with every pass.
Tillamook's also toughened up on the inside of that zone. To the free throw line, Keenert baseline. Ginger had it and lost it out of his hands and out of bounds.
First turnover for the Cheesemakers in the second quarter.
Cheesemakers stay in that 2-2-1 full court pressure. 4:15 left to play in the first half. 31-18 Tillamook. Oh, could have been traveling. No call. Left side with the ball is Bowden. Bowden hands it off to Rue, gets it back. Bowden, he's been one of the Cheesemakers that had trouble keeping him out of the key, even though he's just a 6-foot guard. Bowden gives it off, now goes through, into the corner, behind his back, shot on the way. Good defense by Ginger, partially deflected, comes down to the Cheesemakers. Out they go, Seaholm, bounce pass, baseline. Oh, come on. Said that he was out of bounds. I don't think he was out of bounds, especially. All you have to do is establish yourself back in bounds. And he caught the ball. Wetzel in the corner, they said, no, you jump from out of bounds in to play and caught the ball in the meantime.
Well,
either way,
it's a turnover.
Turn it over. With the ball inside, posted up. Moore, he'll kick it back out. Waits, spins, in trouble. Ginger all over him. Back out on top to Bowden. Bowden to the right wing to Criswell. Plain catch. Bowden get a left-hand dribble. Into the corner again to Rue. Rue gives it up. Cheesemakers. Nice job matching up. Goes to Bowden in the right corner. Cross court almost picked up there. Set shot for three. It's no good. Rebound comes down to Oldenkamp. Oldenkamp out of backcourt. Hands off to Seaholm. Seaholm going to run down the floor. Baseline. Keenert lays it up. He missed it. Rebound tipped out. Wetzel can't hang on.
Well, there was just some great defense that time by Banks. It wasn't an easy layup, but one that we've seen Keenert make many, many times this year.
May have been partially deflected. Not sure. 2:50 left, first half. 31-18 Cheesemakers.
Tillamook's defense right now, nothing easy for Banks.
And the give and go down the lane. He's fouled by Oldenkamp.
And as soon as I say that, they do a give and go. But that is the first time in 5 or 6 trips down that Banks has had any look at the hoop.
And that's why Tillamook's on a 13-0 run. Yet to score in the quarter with 2:42 left to play.
Oldenkamp with his first personal foul.
To the line will go Jim Criswell to shoot 2. That's a 5th-team foul against Tillamook. What a great student section on the far side again tonight here.
Oh, man, what a great attendance tonight.
It is. Both free throws are good. 31-20, first points of the ball game, or first points of the second period for Banks. Wetzel out of the corner for 3 again.
Well, and we talked to Wetzel in the first couple shots that he took tonight, just didn't look comfortable. The last 3 have been just pure shooting.
That was sweet. Smooth, slow, and sweet, and nothing but net. 34-20. Banks with the ball, comes down, they go post up. Kloppenstein, baseline, spins around, a little fade from 7, no good, rebound Seaholm. And he'll push right away the other way. Into the corner, no, it's tipped away. Banks comes off with it after the steal. Out on top, waits and holds. Finally hands back, and they'll set up the offense again with Bowden. 2 minutes left in the second period. Left side on top. Swinging, left to right around the top of the key. Free throw line extended, tipped away. Seaholm with a steal. Seaholm with a break. Seaholm with a lay-in for 2.
Yeah, that should have been over and back. That should not have been Tillamook's basketball there.
And that's what Norm Ballou. And there's another steal with Keenert down the lane. Fakes, he missed it. Got his own rebound, put it up and in. He comes out smiling saying, how did I miss that again?
Well, that first one, he barely got any iron at all, and he was only 2 feet away.
38-20 Cheesemakers, and the defensive pressure just causing fits, and there's another steal. It's 2-on-1. Wetzel, trail, throws it up, missed it. Ginger, missed it, followed again, laid it up and in. And Banks, no, Tillamook is going to take a timeout. 40-20 Cheesemakers, 1:07 left to play in the first half. It's only a 30. We'll keep it right here.
Well, the Tillamook Cheesemakers, we've kind of picked on them just a little bit this season because it seems like they get off to very slow starts and it takes them a while to get going. Not tonight. Holy smokes. The first quarter they came out gunning, put 18 points on the board, and this quarter Banks has only put 4 points on the board, and Tillamook has just gone on a tear offensively.
Absolutely put the clamps on them defensively, which is exactly what we saw out in Scappoose in the second half.
Yes.
The defensive pressure generated the change in momentum and generated opportunities on offense, and all of a sudden you went from a tight game, or down in that case, you went on a 25-0 run. Here tonight again, Tillamook led 18-16 at the end of the first period of play. They start the second period with a 13-0 run. That's got to help you, and they've just extended from there. They're on a 22-2 run right now.
And look at the unit in for the Tillamook Cheesemakers.
Yeah, small and quick this time.
They changed things up. Begin, the only one that has a little mobile issues.
Begin, Wetzel, Ginger, Rodriguez, and Bloom. They went quick with the ball left side, down the lane, step through, in trouble. Waits, gonna back it on out. Free throw extended. Rodriguez hacks it away.
Oh, that's not a good call. I'm telling you what.
It might have been a good call, but it was so late that it looked horrible.
Well, Rodriguez just gets his hands in and out so quickly. And Rodriguez with the foul, the number 2 on him.
You see it happen, but it's kind of like that snake that's reached out and grabbed the fly. You're not sure that the tongue actually moved, and somehow the sound must have got it, and Banks turns the ball over.
14th turnover of the ball game for Banks, 9 in the quarter.
And Banks is rattling enough now that they're just making mistakes without a lot of help from the Cheesemakers. Tillamook with a 20-point lead, and they're going to hold the ball out, and Banks is going to sit back there and say, thank you.
Well, not very on their hands are on their hips, and boy, Banks is just whipped.
Yeah, they are beat. Ginger, top of the key to begin, right side to Rodriguez with 15 seconds remaining. Weston Walker at the free throw line. Looks inside, goes out to Bloom. Bloom gonna drive off to the corner. Rodriguez with 6. It's no good. Bloom with a rebound. Put it back up. He missed it. Rebound comes down to Banks, and that's the end of the first half of play. Tillamook leads 40-20 over the Banks Braves at halftime. We'll be back in 1 minute. Up, and the Cheesemakers stepped up as they went on a 13-0 run. They end the quarter with a 22-4 outburst. And did they put the game away? Well, certainly from the looks of the Banks players when they walked off the floor, they did, because they had their heads down and were strolling to the locker room thinking, man, I can't wait till the next playoff game when it's not Tillamook across from us.
What just happened to us? We were in the game at the end of 1, and all of a sudden we woke up and we're down by 20.
Yeah, 40-20. Cheesemakers with the lead over the 4th place team in the Quappa League. Now, number 5, that's YC. No, it's Seaside. Will go to number 4, Banks, on Tuesday night. And then the winner of that will go to number 3, which will be Scappoose in the Quappa League. And the winner of that will be the 3rd place team into the state playoffs for the Quappa League. That team will have to go to Philomath. If they can win there, they'll have to go to either Baker or LeGrand. So there's a long road ahead. All those things would happen before the Cheesemakers get to play their next game that means anything, and that's here at home 2 weeks from tomorrow night. But before that, a week from tomorrow night, should be a lot of fun as the Tillamook Cheesemakers travel out to take on the 5th-ranked team in the state at the 5A level, the Hillsboro Spartans.
Now that makes some people nervous.
Yes.
However, and it does me as well, however, you look at this team tonight and the way they're playing, I'm telling you what, it could be a very good game. And this team is very capable of this.
Well, and I'm not really worried about win or loss there, and I don't think Greg Werner is either. You've run the table on the year. You're 20-0. You now have an opportunity. It's kind of like an exhibition game. But the reality is, you have not seen very good teams in the Quappa League. So your last several weeks of basketball have been against mediocre teams, except for that non-league game they had against Napa. And other than that, you need to know what it's like to play a good team, because come the following Friday night, from there on, you're going to see real good teams on the floor.
Absolutely, no question. And it does a couple of things. It gets you a game in. Number one, you've got to play basketball games. And then you're another week away after you play that before you play again. That is a ton of encouragement during practice for that next week. Win or lose, you're right, it really doesn't matter. However, it's a very good game to actually have.
Cheesemakers lead 40-20 here at halftime over the Banks Braves. We'll be back with the halftime stats after this. Tillamook Gym and Bob Lamb Court as Tillamook Cheesemakers 19-0, trying to move to 20-0 on the year as they lead 40-20 at halftime. What about the first half stats?
Very, very good first half of basketball for the Tillamook Cheesemakers. This is how you want to finish a season going into the playoffs, is playing basketball like this. Tillamook Cheesemakers turned the ball over just 7 times in that first half while getting Banks to choke it up 14 times, led from the tenacious defense that the Tillamook Cheesemakers put on, especially in that second quarter. Banks Braves not one field goal in that second quarter. They shot 0 from the field in the second quarter. They were 0 for 7, and for the half, 6 of 22, shooting just 27% for the quarter. If you remember, they started off that first quarter shooting 40%, and things were off and rolling for them. They're perfect from the free throw line, 8 for 8. The only 4 points came from the free throw line in the second quarter from Banks. Tillamook Cheesemakers, on the other hand, everything goes right. They take care of the basketball. They have a great offensive showing, good shooting percentage, 42% for the half, 15-36, and it could have been a lot better. They missed a couple of easy layups, but they got the rebound and put them back. So I'll take 42% most of the time. They were 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 80%, much better than we saw the other night. They are settled in and playing good basketball. The Tillamook Cheesemakers, I wish I could keep blocked shots and rebounds, because it would be a lot more fair when we run through the stats for the big guys at Tillamook. I know Bryant has at least 3 block shots tonight. I think Luke Oldenkamp has at least 5, maybe 6 rebounds. So incredible night for them. As starting off, Jason Wetzel with 8 points in the ball game. He missed his first 3 shots. He hit his last 3 shots, and as ugly as the first 3 were, the last 3 were perfect. Again, he's off and running. Blaine Keener, the leading scorer for the Tillamook Cheesemakers, he's just said, get on my back, I'm going to carry you home tonight. He's got 14 points in the game, and the Tillamook Cheesemakers, again, they look like a playoff caliber basketball team tonight.
And you sit here, Dave, and you look around the gym, and you recognize 3/4 of the people in here because they've been basketball fans, but it's very seldom on a Thursday night you put this many people in on a game that doesn't mean anything. I mean, this game doesn't. The Cheesemakers are the Coapa League champions. They're going to be in the first or second round of the state playoffs. Now, they are undefeated, but it's also a night where the kids decided, hey, let's have something where everybody can come free. It's entertainment for a night in Tillamook, kind of a thank you for all you've done for us over the course of the year. It comes very nicely on the heels of a charity drive where this community's given $111,000 through our high school students to charity. And so, boy, you can't say enough.
You can't. You sit in here and you look around. You're right. You recognize a lot of the people. We're sitting there listening to the best band in the state, the best pep band in the state. We're watching clearly tonight one of the best basketball teams in the state. The camaraderie that we have in this atmosphere, I bet you there's not 100 kids in the state of Oregon that has played before a crowd like this any given year. And Tillamook, you almost grow used to it.
You do get used to it without a doubt, and it breeds success, and the Cheesemakers continue to have it as they lead 40-20 at the half. We'll be back with the start of the second half after this 1-minute break for our sponsors. Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball.
I gotta tell you, it's only in Tillamook also. I look down here. Here comes a box of candy across the crowd. Everybody just takes a piece of candy, hands the box on down along the way. Everybody has a piece of candy, and they're all smiling and happy. It didn't come up to us either.
And you look down as the Cheesemakers head out for the second half, and there's Bob Lamb in the middle of the huddle. talking. Greg working with some other kids. I mean, there is no doubt about the Cheesemakers are well prepared. Baseline left, shot on the way to start the second half. Wetzel, he missed it long, going to be run out the other way by Criswell. Down the lane, stop there, kick back. Set shot by Rue is good. Make that Hammond, Hammond hits the three-pointer out of the corner. Left wing, bounce pass or lob pass inside. Keenert takes it to the hole hard and scores.
Keenert with 16.
And coming off hobbling is Jim Criswell. They start, and into the game will come Devin Partain.
And just a side special note, Tillamook had the ball first to start the second half.
They did.
So just, if you're listening, it's the first time in the last 25 years that's happened.
Doesn't seem like that happens often enough, I guess. Banks with the ball, right to left, across the timeline. Partain out on top, and they'll set it up. Banks in their navy blue uniforms with white stripes. Cheesemakers in their home white uniforms. Left side, Hammond. Hammond into the corner. Bowden. Bowden traveled, no call. Inside scoops and throws up. A wild one. Banks with a rebound. Whistle foul. Going to be Oldenkamp, and the Cheesemaker fans didn't like that one. Cheesemaker coach didn't like that one either.
Well, I didn't actually see it, but Oldenkamp comes out and his shirt's on sideways, so I'm not sure how that happens.
So to the line will go Thomas Moore, and he'll shoot two. First foul of the second half. 42-23, Cheesemakers.
Oldenkamp with his second personal foul.
Free throw's no good.
First missed free throw by Banks tonight.
Yeah. Banks has actually played pretty good basketball until that barrage of defensive pressure just absolutely took him out of their game. Second free throw's no good, and it bounces all the way out of the corner and out of bounds.
As quick as Tillamook is, he couldn't even catch up with that one.
Cheesemakers, right to left they come. On top, Dan Seaholm. Left wing, Oldenkamp. Out on the wing, goes cross court to Seaholm. Has a man open. There it is, Matt Bryant. Baseline, drop step, missed it. Fought for it. No, it's offensive rebound for Keenert, who lays it up and in.
Boy, Keenert has had himself quite an offensive night. 18 points in the ball game.
44-23. Cheesemakers with a 21-point lead. It's the largest of the night. Right wing, Hammond. Around the top of that 2-3 zone. It's got Seaholm and Wetzel sitting out on the 2-3. They come out and match up tight. Now going to shoot from 15. No good. Tipped long, tipped twice. Finally chased out in the corner by Partain. He comes up with the ball, and Banks gets another chance. A whistle foul coming in. It's going to be Seaholm. That'll be number 2.
First foul on Seaholm tonight.
So the Cheesemakers a week from tomorrow will be in Hillsboro High School. And then the following week on Friday night, they will be right here against the winner of a number 3 game, Ontario, and it could be either Staten, Estacada, possibly Gladstone. We won't know yet for, it'll be next week sometime. In the lane, kicking out of the corner, shot from 17, no good. Bryant with a rebound. He's taken out. Down he goes.
Isn't it a 2 and a 3 game?
No, this is kind of an odd thing. Every once in a while you get 2 number 3s that play each other. Tillamook, and it's all by luck of the draw, happen to play the winner of 2 number 3s.
Oh,
now that's odd.
It's an odd number of leagues.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess you have to have that one time.
And the Cheesemakers, you would think, would be the benefactor of that. Last year they played a number 2 and ended up playing Newport, who finished 3rd in the state after beating Tillamook, and were a very, very good basketball team. Tillamook with the ball, right side, Seaholm. 5:45 left to play in the third. Inside, kicks it out of the corner now kicks right corner to Wetzel, who shoots from 18, no good. Bowden with a rebound. Outlet, sideline left, stop there. Out on top, trip down. Bowden going to go down the lane, scoops to the hoop, no good. Matt Bryant rebound, outlet long, left side, sideline break, going to go to Wetzel. He'll give it up on top, inside to Keenert. Keenert to the hole, lays it up and in.
Wow.
Nice pass that time by Dan Seaholm, who threaded a very thin needle in there to get it to Keenert, who we don't talk enough about, has great hands.
Yes, he does, and they just kind of flip it in there to him, and he can get it from anywhere.
Elbow to the right side. Push
yeah.
offensive foul.
I could make that call. That is a good call by the official. Just a drop shoulder and plow through.
Jared Rude, just out of frustration, every time he turned around, there's somebody between him and the basket, and he finally had enough.
Well, Tillamook's defense, again, when they're in the zone, inside, they figured something out. They don't have the holes that they did earlier in the season.
Rude picks up foul number 3. He'll sit down as Seaholm brings it down with a 23-point lead. Wetzel baseline, won't take it inside to Oldenkamp. To the hole, no, he dishes it off to Keener. On top, quick ball movement. Right side, drops it low, and Matt Bryant can't hang on. Hit him on the big paw on the left side, but it just ricocheted out of bounds. Tillamook turns it over.
That would have been a great pass, but Keener couldn't quite corral that either.
Hammond, right side, pass out on top. And Bryant was there about half a step late and got a pretty good hack on Bowden.
Bryant with his 3rd personal foul. Thing I like to see about Bryant this year is he normally doesn't pick his fouls up in clumps.
No,
so he's done a great job of controlling that a little better.
And he certainly picked up a lot more fouls early in the season than he has later on as the season's progressed.
Well, learning to move the feet.
He'll sit down now. That's a good lesson to learn, too.
Well, if you get a foul and you sit down, that is not very much fun.
No. Inbound play. Banks, they miss a shot from the right side, and Oldenkamp with a rebound. Outlet, Tillamook a run. Sideline left, Wetzel. Had a man open on the backside, didn't. Kicks it off to Oldenkamp. Step through, slides, he has it checked. Rebound comes out to Banks. Banks with the ball, going to go the other way. Partain to the top to Bowden, behind his back. He got the junior tag team there, broke it loose, but it goes back to Partain. Banks controls with the ball. Hammond, baseline, looks cross court, near side. Partain, 4-3 is good. He hasn't done much tonight.
Well,
his first 3.
First bucket of the night.
Pass, baseline, Tillamook tipped away, but it goes out to Rodriguez, who just flips it out in the court, and Seaholm gets it. Seaholm and Rodriguez, boy, they are quick. You're going to see a lot of them next year. Inside, Keenert from 10 scores.
Now, Keenert's perfect here in the 3rd quarter with 8 points in the quarter, 22 in the game.
And that's what Tillamook leads by, is 22. Free throw line jumper on the way. It's good by Thomas Moore.
He gets his first bucket of the night as well.
Cheesemaker's got a little lazy defensively there. Seaholm end to end, puts it up, miss it, long tip out, going to go to Wetzel, and Cheesemakers will control. They'll get another chance. Pass inside to Oldenkamp. He steps through, has it checked out, tipped off, Banks out of bounds. It'll be Cheesemaker's ball.
He just shakes his head. I tell you what, he's like a magnet.
He is a foul glue magnet.
They just come after him. I don't know what it is.
He's kind of like flypaper hanging there, and they just swarm, and pretty soon they're stuck to him. Wetzel, right wing with the ball. Out on top, Rodriguez. Set the offense. He'll break the time to the free throw line. Tipped away, loose. Tillamook turns it over. Batted around like a pinball in there. Finally outlet to the right wing. Goes to Loza, his first trip into the ball game. Loza is a sophomore as well. Good sophomore class that Banks has. With the ball on top, they've got 5 sophomores on their varsity roster. 3-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound, outlet, Cheesemaker. Sideline right, Seaholm. He'll go all the way around the top of the key. Now kicks into the corner to Wetzel for 3. Barely got iron. 2:40 left to play in the 3rd. 48-28, Tillamook. Maintaining that 20-point lead they build at halftime. Top of the key. Bowden, 3-pointer, no good. Oldenkamp, another rebound. Wraparound. Tillamook has numbers going the other way. Seaholm, he'll shoot the 3. It's no good. Rebound comes down to Loza.
Tillamook has gotten lazy on the offensive end.
Yep. Yeah, just a little rat ball going on. Shot from 18, it's no good. Shot missed on the follow, no good. Banks with a 3rd opportunity. Will set up and shoot. Partain, it's no good. And Wetzel down with a rebound. 2 minutes left and finally gets fouled.
Well, when you build a lead like that, this is one of those quarters that you just maintain that intensity is so tough to keep the entire ball game. And right now, Tillamook's just doing a good job of not letting Banks see any daylight.
Into the ball game comes Ginger. Also into the ball game comes Johnny Begin. A couple of seniors there. Bloom also in the ball game for the Cheesemakers.
This is the kind of game that Begin could actually really shine with his passes.
Bloom right wing on top. Begin left side. Nice pass inside to Ginger. As they reverse out, Rodriguez open for three. No good. Rebound comes down to Banks. A lot better ball movement and shot selection that time. Into the corner, Hammond. He's going to drive, goes around his man. Wild shot up, reverse, he gets nothing. And Keenert with a rebound. Bounce pass right side. Begin, gives it up, gets it back. Wrap around inside to Blaine. Keenert, Bloom, long cross court. Nice catch by Rodriguez. Cheesemakers set the offense. They overload the near side. Now Keenert will move far side, and they'll post up low for Ginger. Reverses quick, reverse three-pointer Bloom. It's no good. Tillamook not shooting well from the outside right now, and traveling going to be called on Banks.
16th turnover for Banks. Tillamook can't buy a bucket right now. But everything's on the perimeter as well.
Which was not the case at all in the first half.
Tillamook has taken 4, 5, and the box of candy makes it back up to us. So, hey, now wait a second. That one's
somebody bit out of that one.
You got the last good one. I think I got the coconut.
Keener goes down the lane and scores.
I'm not sure that I'm going to like that a whole lot.
50-28. I'm ready for this last minute to be gone so I can have that piece of chocolate I just stole out of the box. It made it all the way through the Tillamook fans over here. With the ball, Banks goes to the baseline, inside, cut off, tries to reverse again, going to get the foul on Keener.
Oh, that's a bailout there.
That is.
Just buried underneath was Thomas Moore. Keener picks up his second personal foul, I believe.
So Thomas Moore will go to the line with 45 seconds left in the third period. Weston Walker gets ready to come in. Tillamook with a 22-point lead. Tillamook certainly has sent a statement to the rest of the league. In fact, in one of the polls, there's 3 different polls. In one of the polls this week, the Cheesemakers actually stole one of the first place votes from Brookings.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a little surprising.
Yeah. Brookings, who's the defending state champion, has everybody back and hasn't lost a game all year. Tillamook with a rebound off the missed shot, right wing to begin, and they travel with the ball.
Just a very quick pass from Ginger to begin. Just couldn't quite get his handle on it.
Banks will have it out on the near side. Turnover number 10 for the Cheesemakers in the ball game. Well played game for the Mooks. With the ball, going to move left to right around the top of the key. And reverse to the far side. Loza going to work inside, back out on top he goes. Cheesemakers keep moving in the 2-3 zone. They go with a pass to the elbow. Rodriguez tips it away, but it goes right back to the offensive player, Thomas Moore, who takes it down the floor, or down the lane, lays it off the glass for 2. 50-31, 19-point Tillamook lead with 11 seconds left. Begin, holds the ball on the right side, goes inside at the elbow, Ginger. Ginger step through, back to Rodriguez. In the corner, Rodriguez, or Begin, three-pointer on the way, only glass, and that's the end of the third period of play. It's 50-31, Cheesemakers after 3. We'll be back in 1 minute. To your broadcast crew, where the Cheesemakers lead 50-31 after 3 periods of play. It's not easy eating one of those little chewy chocolates in 1 minute.
I forgot about mine.
You end up having to swallow too much of it in the end.
Oh, well.
But either way.
There's still a half-eaten one in there.
I know. I've got a half-eaten one here. I'm saving for post-game. When you're doing the stats slowly.
Great.
Because I'm going to enjoy that one. Not choke it down like the last one.
I'm afraid of mine. I'm thinking coconut.
50-31. Banks with the ball to start the final period of play. Neil Hammond goes pass inside. Kicks it out to the right wing to Rue. Back into the ball game. Rue with 3 fouls. Goes post up, inside, spins, shot, missed, rebound, Ginger. Ginger with the ball in backcourt, going to bring out to Begin. Begin moves to the top of the key as Banks sits back in a 1-3-1 zone. Ginger down the lane, nice move, missed the shot. Rebound tips out to Banks. Banks will bring the ball right to left across the timeline again. Nobody leaving. Enjoying a ball game start to finish here on Bob Lamb Court at Tillamook High School's gym.
This would have been good at any price.
Yep. Three-pointer left wing is good by Neil Hammond. So Hammond hits the 3. Banks outscored Tillamook 11-10 in that last quarter. Whistle foul going to be on Kloppenstein, and Weston Walker drew the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Great pass from Bloom, driving the baseline, flipped it back into Weston Walker right underneath the bucket. He just couldn't get the ball up over the top.
You know, Weston Walker, he's got a face great big monsters every day in practice. I mean, you're facing every day Matt Bryant at 6'8", Keenert at 6'4", Oldenkamp at 6'4", and you get used to that head fake and trying to do something else, because I'm guessing it's a pretty good routine swatting in there. Free throw, the first one's no good, second one's no good as well. They miss them both. Hammond down with the ball. He'll work right to left. On top, waiting, and they'll reverse. Not a starter on the floor for the Cheesemakers here to start the final period of play. Inside, down the lane, got an opening, laid it up and in, Thomas Moore. And that's going to change that.
Well, you can't let them have life.
Greg Warner going to bring the starters right back in as Ginger went down the lane, had it checked, and then it went out of bounds.
Well, you're going to turn the ball over for the 11th time, as well as get all the starters back into the Tillamook Cheesemakers. That third quarter, 5 of 15 shooting for the Tillamook Cheesemakers, and that includes 5 for 5 from Blaine Keenert. So he was the only offense the Tillamook had in that third quarter. So him back on the floor is a good thing.
Tillamook's lead is cut to 14. Hammond with the ball on the left side. Goes to the baseline. Shot on the way from 18. It's an air ball. Wetzel down with the ball. He'll push the other way. Wetzel right to left across the timeline. To the elbow to Keenert. Wide open to the free throw line is Oldenkamp, who jumps it up and in.
I like that little shot for Oldenkamp there. I'd like to see him take that a little more often. Right from just the left elbow, Oldenkamp with 7.
Back up by 16 down the lane. Bowden 3-pointer, 15-footer on the way, no good. Loose. Matt Bryant comes up with it, rips it loose. Wetzel finally got the foul, thanks to the Cheesemaker fans, who finally started hollering because there are guys grabbing them. That's cheating. And the Cheesemakers will get it back. It will be foul on Jared Rue, who picks up his 4th. Norm Ballou going to stay with Jared Rue. Free throw line. Cheesemakers left side, Oldenkamp. Back in, Keenert straight away from 7. It's good.
Boy,
wow, they are working that free throw line in.
26 points for Blaine Keenert, and he is perfect for the half, 6 for 6.
And Banks wants timeout. 54-36, Tillamook will be back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball and Bob Lamb Court. Randy Shield and Dave Scherbandi. There is no place like home. During that timeout, the student section does the stomp to a huge cheer, and then the person leading the cheer, little run and a frontward flip, and landed on his feet, fortunately.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
Wad. And so, I got to tell you, what a great place to be. Left side with the ball, Banks. Tillamook leads by 18. They keep their starters in the ball game with 5:32 left to play in the game. Hammond, near side, left to right around the top of the key. Cheesemakers in the zone, extending very nicely. Go to the free throw line to Koppenstein. He kicks it back out to the left wing to Rue. Rue around, going to shoot Hammond. 3-pointer, it's an air ball. Second one, saved back in, off Banks. It'll be Cheesemaker ball. So the Cheesemakers will get it out in backcourt with an 18-point lead. Remember, they'd gotten it down to 14. Tillamook's come down and hit 2 little nice jumpers at or inside the free throw line. Oldenkamp skip pass, left side Wetzel. Wetzel goes baseline to Matt Bryant. Nice spin move, missed it, but right there's the vacuum. Oldenkamp with a follow for 2.
Oldenkamp offensively tonight had himself a pretty nice little game, 9 points.
20-point Tillamook lead again. Quickly build up. With the ball, free throw line whistle, foul going to be Matt Bryant on the reach. That'll be 4 on him.
That's number 4, and that's one of those fouls that he's got to learn not to pick that up. He goes through the player to tip the ball away 18 feet away from the basket.
And we haven't seen a lot of that out of him. Most of his fouls have been on the drive, got him with the body or got him with the big swing. He doesn't pick up a lot of flat, stupid fouls. That was one of them.
Well, I guguess.
Oh, it was.
Tell me how you really feel.
No, it was out at the free throw line. Guy's not going to hurt you from out there. Can't shoot over you. You're 6'8". Left side, 18-footer on the way. Is good. Nice shot by Jared Rue.
Rue now is 6 in the game.
56-38, Cheesemakers. Oldenkamp at the free throw line, steps through, hands to Keener. He goes inside, jumps it up, missed it. Got his own rebound. He'll take it up hard again. It was blocked, no good, but it comes to Wetzel, who jumps it up and in. 4 Cheesemakers just crashing the boards, and they're getting points out of it.
Double digits for Wetzel, and you're right, nobody back.
And Banks on the far side, Loza traveled with the ball, and the Cheesemakers get it back on the turnover.
The first of the fourth quarter for Banks, first turnover, third of the half. They've taken care of the ball here in the second half, but Tillamook hasn't put that number 1 defense together either.
4:05 left to play in the game. 58-38, Cheesemakers with the lead. Oldenkamp in backcourt will bring it in. It's out of the ball game will come Thomas Moore. Seaholm, baseline pass, nice catch by Bryant. He's fouled. That could have been a good check there.
Yeah, that looked pretty decent, and Bryant needs to just recognize what's happened. If he just takes a half a second longer, it's a stuff.
Oh, an up fake step, and you're right. And Matt Bryant dunks the ball easy, but in that case, got checked, but picked up the foul and then go to the line to shoot 2. Free throw, missed it.
Bryant with 6 points in the ball game. Good, solid basketball game for him as well.
Second free throw, under 4 minutes left to play. Is no good. Rebound. Oldenkamp keeps it alive, saves it back in, but it'll go to Banks. Oldenkamp was going out of bounds, had to just toss it back in. No Cheesemakers around that time. Loza with the ball on the left wing. Looking cross court. Tillamook stays in their zone. Gets it back. Koppenstein, baseline jumper on the way. No good. Rebound. Loose. Koppenstein gets it back. Puts it up. He missed it. Got it one more time. Put it up. He missed it again. Wetzel with a rebound. He'll run sideline left. Moves to the top of the key. He lost the ball. Picked up by Banks. Cheesemakers turn it over. 58-38. Cheesemakers by 20. 3:20 left to play. On top with the ball, Braves. Going to drive left baseline. Fade from 15. No good. Rebound. Tipped loose. Kept alive. Koppenstein puts it up and in.
Is that Koppenstein 44 or 51?
Oh, that's 51, Koppenstein. 44 is going to be somebody else now. With the ball, a mugging on the baseline. No call. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be Cheesemaker ball.
That brought D. Wyrick, or D up off the ground, the chairs there. Not happy with that. 2:55
left to play. Wetzel out. Seaholm out. Bloom, Rodriguez in. 58-40, Cheesemakers. Rodriguez back to Bloom, drop step, powers it up, and there's the call. Finally.
That's a good move there.
That was a really pretty move.
Boy, just took it up strong, and the whistle finally blows for Luke Oldenkamp, and that's what you expect to happen there.
Yep. To the line will go Oldenkamp. He'll shoot 2 with an 18-point lead and 2:52 left to play in the game. Tillamook just moments away from going 20-0 on a season. Who would have ever thought? We knew we'd be a pretty decent team this year. 20-0, I would have bet a lot of money against that.
Boy, I tell you what, that is a great season. A lot of questions about how good is this team.
Yeah,
I tell you what, still. But I tell you what, the last couple quarters, boy, they've proven it to me. They are pretty decent. Luke Oldenkamp, double digits for the game, 11 in the game.
And it seems like they're getting better.
And this is when you want to get better.
Pass inside, 60-40. Tillamook with the lead. Loza, three-pointer. No good. It hit the wire. It'll be Cheesemaker's ball.
I still don't know why somebody doesn't get a spring up there on that doggone wire.
I know it. It wouldn't be that hard to do either.
No, and that's about 50 years of, it's just a wire hanging in the way.
And there's time out on the floor as the Cheesemaker's going to unload their bench. With a 60-40 lead and 2:38 left to play in the game. We'll be back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball. Tillamook leads 60-40. Randy Shield and Dave Scherbondy, your broadcast crew over FM 94.3 KTIL in Tillamook. It is Jordan Schreiber, Josh Rodriguez, Nathan Seaholm, Weston Walker, and Dan Ginger in the game for the Cheesemakers. Kick save out of bounds. Banks still with several of their main players in.
Boy, I'd like to see Jordan Schreiber. Could be the first freshman dunk of.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It would be fun. He's a kid that can do it too.
Yes, he is. Not many freshmen could ever dunk. Schreiber got it inside, tried to go baseline to Walker, turned it over, picked off Banks. They'll go the other way. 2:15 left to play. And there's a timeout.
Banks takes the timeout. The player hit the shot from the left wing, and now he's thinking, maybe that wasn't the greatest timeout.
He comes over and says, hey, I hit the shot. What are you doing?
Oh.
Yes, they wipe the points off the board. It'll still be Banks' ball after the timeout, which we'll keep right here. Don't forget, district tournament wrestling action coming your way on Thursday or on Saturday, day after tomorrow. That's an 11 o'clock semifinal action. The Cheesemakers, they'll start wrestling tomorrow. They'll be down to the semis on Saturday morning, and we'll be there, Elroy Thompson with the color, and it should be a lot of fun from Astoria High School as we look at district wrestling as they get ready to see how many people they can send to the state tournament and make another run at a back-to-back state championship in wrestling. The Cheesemakers won the wrestling title in 1984, and they won it again in I can't see that number from here, 98 or 99, and then of course won it again last year. And so you look at that, there's a great dynasty here of Cheesemaker wrestling in their program. Never won back-to-back though. They're looking to do that this year. Out on top, Lowe's a long three, no good. Rebound comes out to the Cheesemakers. Begin right side to Seaholm. Nathan going to go inside, and he's hammered, and he'll shoot two. JV action tonight. They went 62-19 and
It was over in the first 3 minutes.
And I think they went like 15-1, 14-1, something like that.
Hey, I tell you what, when you watch them, it's a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Up and down the court and in good control.
Not a lot of size, but Nathan Radcliffe, coach of the JVs, did a very nice job with them this year. And we've really not very often talked about the job Greg has done with this varsity group as well. You kind of take it for granted, and you don't notice coaches unless they do stupid things. And in that case, you haven't noticed Greg a lot because he has been consistent all year long, and he's had a lot of tools to work with and different types, and has managed that extremely well. Cheesemakers give up a bucket after Seaholm hits the free throws. 62-42 Tillamook. Ball out on top, tip. Lowe's is going to pick it up. Lowe's is going to go down the lane, step back, look for a three, but Seaholm in his face. They hand back out. Cheesemakers in a man-to-man defense. On top, Ginger playing the defense on Hammond. Long three-pointer on the way, no good. Ginger with the rebound. Ginger hands back to Begin, and they'll bring it down the floor. Student section stays on their feet the entire ball game. Weston Walker is fouled. And that will be a shooter as he goes to the line to shoot one-on-one. He's been there twice tonight, didn't make either of those.
Well, the Cheesemakers have got a lot of different people to score tonight. Weston Walker's one that has not. He's got a couple of opportunities here from the stripe.
So to the line, Weston Walker to shoot one-on-one with 1:13 left to play in the game. Free throw on the way, no good. Rebound, Ginger, nice move. He's checked out of bounds. It'll be Cheesemakers' ball back. So Tillamook could get it out underneath their own basket.
Well,
and they'll bring it in.
When you talk about Greg Warner, you know, no grumblings in the community at all.
None. Johnny Begin, nice little reverse, lays it up and in. Johnny, a crowd favorite here in Tillamook, a starter for 2 years before injuring that knee partway into this season. Open underneath, Hammond lays it up, but he's fouled by Schreiber.
Boy, Schreiber came clear from the other side of the key in the air. Great body control.
He jumped over the rim to get a body on the far side and pick up the foul. First time we've ever done a free admission night here in Tillamook. Certainly appears to have been a success. Free throw is no good.
9 different cheesemakers have put points on the board tonight.
64-42, Tillamook. In their final regular game of the year. Second one is good. 21-point lead. Ginger with the ball goes to the baseline. Out on top to Schreiber, but it goes off to Seaholm. Seaholm to begin. The cheesemakers will try to move the ball out. They go inside to Walker, who gets fouled, no call. Now he goes down the line. Doesn't get the call either, but the ball comes off and goes to Ginger, who lays it up and in. Student section on their feet. Driving, lows it down the line. Whistle and a foul is going to be on Seaholm, I believe.
Nathan picks up his first personal foul. He's got several to give, so might as well get his money's worth.
And I tell you, the student section is going to get this entire place on their feet. You gotta love it, I tell you. What an impressive place to be tonight. Free throw no good by Loza with 29 seconds left. All the fans are still here, and now they're all on their feet.
I'm not sure the Banks Braves are thinking this is that impressive, but what a tough place to come into and play.
Yep, it is. Free throw, second one is good. Down the floor, left side, 28 seconds. Ginger steps through. Gonna say a jump ball. With 25 seconds left, it'll stay Tillamook's end of the floor. 66-44, Cheesemakers.
A very entertaining night of basketball. Yes. And we got a good 2 halves of basketball in tonight.
On top, Cheesemakers with the ball. Officials don't want to blow the whistle again. They'd like to have the 18 seconds run off and have this be over with. Feeds to Walker, left side, baseline inside to Schreiber. Step through, and they're going to have to blow the whistle there.
Boy, they really did, too, because Schreiber, nice, strong move, and got a pretty good swipe across the arms. He'll go to the charity stripe.
10.5 seconds left in the regular season. As the Cheesemakers, 20-0, ranked number 2 in the state, send the freshman to the line, Jordan Schreiber. Free throw's good. One more guy on the board for the Mooks tonight, which we got to be getting pretty close.
We didn't quite make it all the way through, but pretty close.
Both free throws good by Schreiber. 68-44. As Banks sits out by midcourt, left side going to throw it up for 3, and that's the end of the ball game. Tillamook Cheesemakers win it by a final score of 68-44. As they win it by 24, they win it going away, and the Mooks are undefeated, 20-0 on the season. You gotta like that. Cheesemakers win 68-44. We're gonna take a 2-minute break. We'll be back after this. 2 minutes, Jerry, 2-minute break. celebrate good times on the far side. And the Tillamook Cheesemakers are doing just that as they go 20-0 on the season with a 68-44 victory here on the new Bob Lamb Court at Tillamook High School. The Cheesemakers started early, but it was nip and tuck, or back and forth at least, as they led 18-6 after the first period of play, but outscored Banks 22-4 in that second period of play, including starting the second period with a 13-0 run. Cheesemakers led by 20 at halftime and really just coasted their way through the rest of the ball game as they led 50-31 after 3, and they win it by 24 as they win it 68-44. Banks cut it to 14 early in this final period of play. The Cheesemakers reinserted their starters and reinserted the dominance as the Cheesemakers, for the second year in a row, run the table in the Coapa League, as Coach Greg Werner now has a 20-0 record against Coapa League opponents as the Cheesemakers win again 68-44. One thing we really didn't take time at halftime to talk about, and we weren't on the air last night, if you haven't heard about the charity drive, grand total raised $111,226 this year, second highest ever.
You can't make
physically impossible
$112,000 in an economy that we're looking at across the state. You can't do it.
Not in this community.
You couldn't do it.
You know, I had several newspapers and TV people call me today and said, "Is that real? $111,000 in 10 days now?" And it is. Kids here in the community, both, they're amazing. The winning class was the juniors with $36,105. Freshmen came in second. They've got a good group. Got to watch them. That could be a great battle next year as they raised $30,000 this year, over that. And the seniors were in third with over $23,000, and the sophomores just about $22,000. And so, fantastic job by the student body, class advisors, and the activity director, Donna Nash, as they again do an amazing thing for charities, including $51,000 given to Dornbecker's Children's Hospital. Tillamook Cheesemakers win it by a final score of 68-44. We're going to take a break from the Les Schwab Tire Center. We'll be back with the stats after this. Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball and Sports Extra, brought to you by the Les Schwab Tire Center, the place to go for your tire care. Tillamook Cheesemakers win it 68-44. What about the stats?
Have you been listening to that kid playing the drums?
I have.
He is fantastic.
I don't know where he came from. He just walked over there and started beating on him.
He's done that before. I'm telling you what. Very good. Great basketball game tonight, start to finish. The Tillamook Cheesemakers, just what the doctor ordered. They finished the season strong. They'll go into the playoffs with a good positive of how they played basketball. 14 turnovers for the Tillamook Cheesemakers. A very respectable taking care of the basketball. The Banks Braves 17. Banks only turned the ball over 3 times in the second half. They took care of the basketball, but the damage was done in that second quarter when the Tillamook Cheesemakers just defensively shut down Banks, and that's where they got their lead, and then they just coasted to a victory. Banks for the night, 28% from the field, 15 of 54. Tillamook just didn't let them have anything easy. Banks was 12 of 42 outside the three-point line and 3 of 12 inside. They're 11 of 16 from the free throw line. Again, only 4 points in that second quarter for Banks, not a field goal. All 4 points came from the free throw line. Scoring for Banks, Moore with 7, the only player in double digits. Now, I'm sorry, no players in double digits. Neil Hammond leading scorer for Banks with 9. Tillamook Cheesemakers, on the other hand, shot 41% from the field. Very respectable shooting percentage for the Cheesemakers. 26 of 63 shots up in the air for the Cheesemakers. And again, 41%. Where they struggled, 2 of 15 from outside the three-point line, 13% from there. Again, free throw line, 14 of 21. Got to do a little better than 66%, although better than the other night.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that was ugly.
It was ugly, and I don't know what happened, but Tillamook, a decent free throw shooting team, and it just went bad. So, and then 10 Tillamook Cheesemakers scored tonight. All of them played, and it was kind of a fun night for the Tillamook Cheesemakers on the basketball floor. Bryant with 6 points in tonight's game. Luke Oldenkamp in double digits with 11 points. Again, if they keep rebounds, I bet you he's near 10 rebounds. Just a great basketball game by Luke Oldenkamp. Taylor Bloom played, did not score. Jason Wetzel, double digits. He had 10 tonight. Weston Walker responsible for the free night here, and basically filled the gymnasium up. And how fun is this? He played, did not score. Dan Ganger, 4 points tonight. Dan Seaholm, 2 points tonight. Johnny Begin, 2 points. Josh Rodriguez, 3 points tonight. Nathan Seaholm, 2 points. Schreiber with 2 points, and the leading scorer for the Tillamook Cheesemakers, who only missed 2 shots in the fourth quarter, Blaine Keener. In the second half, and those were in the fourth quarter. He ended up the game with 26 points tonight. A good, solid performance by Blaine, and you could just see the confidence from the very beginning of this basketball game, and he missed his first 2 shots, and then he just went on a tear after that.
Cheesemakers win it 68-44 here at home, and they're 20-0 on the season. We'll take our final break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Cheesemaker Basketball and Sports Extra brought to you by the Les Schwab Tire Center, the place to go for your tire care. Tillamook wins it by a final score 68-44 over the Banks Braves. Tillamook moves to 20-0 on the season. They finished perfect 10-0 in the Quappa League, and the Cheesemakers are the #1 team out of the Quappa League into the state playoffs. But before the state playoffs start, next Friday night, a week from tomorrow night, the Cheesemakers in a pickup game are going to take on the Hillsboro High School Spartans. Hill High, the 5th ranked team in the state at the 5A level. Very tall, very talented, likes to run the floor. It's a short trip out there. Might be worth it to come see. It'll be a great challenge for the Cheesemakers as they need some good competition. They also need something to look forward to, so they're not waiting 2 weeks plus before they play the next game, and the game that's going to be do or die. Remember last year Tillamook got the first round bye. They're waiting here for whoever wins and comes in to town, and the Cheesemakers ended up losing to the Newport Cubs here and did not make it to Oregon State University and Gill Coliseum. They certainly have higher hopes this year as they get ready over the next 2 weeks for that game. That'll be on March 6th here on a Friday night, and that'll be a winner go on, a loser go home game that you're not going to want to miss. This has been Sports Extra, brought to you by the Les Schwab Tire Center, the place to go for your tire care. From Free Night at Bob Lamb Court, this has been Randy Shield along with Dave Scherbandi saying good night and good sports. This has been a KTIL Sports presentation.